Hello and welcome to the outside of my studio on this bright sunny day. In this video I'm going to show you how I made this picture. Sometimes a picture can be improved by darkening the background to make the subject stand out. This can be difficult to achieve in outside locations, but with a simple technique and virtually no extra equipment, it's very possible. And in this video I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Okay. So I'm going to be using my medium format camera with a 120mm macro lens on the front of it. So this is going to be the subject, this dandelion clock. And I'm going to capture it with this camera from this sort of angle down here. I want to get on the same level as the subject, so I want my camera placed about here somewhere. So just to make it a little simpler, I'm just going to use this tripod. And I'll just put the camera on the top of the tripod like that. And then looking through the viewfinder, I can set up the image. So the first thing I need to do is just focus that up a little. There we are. And then just using the geared controls, I can just center up the image. There we are. So with that now done, next thing to do would be to sort out an exposure. So I'm just going to use the camera's meter for this, and I'm just going to set a aperture first of something like f11, and now I'm just going to change the shutter speed until I'm just under where I want to be. There, somewhere around there should do, I think, as an initial try. So with that, I'll just grab an image. And there we are. You can see from that we've got a reasonable image. It's not anything special. It just tends to blend in with the background a bit. So I need to find a way that I can darken down the background and yet still have the same exposure on the subject. And a really simple way to do that is with the aid of a mirror. So with this, what I can do is place the mirror so that it illuminates the subject like so, with an extra dose of sunshine. And as you can see, that's giving quite a nice lighting effect anyway. But doing that is also going to increase the exposure on the subject. So I can now darken the background by turning the exposure down by about 1 stop. At the moment I've got a shutter speed of 1/320th. So if I just increase that, we'll try 500th for now. And you can see on the meter here that I'm down by about a stop. And because I'm using a mirror, it doesn't really matter how far away I am. I can illuminate the plant from a convenient distance. So just holding that in something like the right place. Just grab an image, maybe grab another one. There we go. And there you can see straight away from that the background has got considerably darker. So just to show what the difference is, I'll just grab another image, but without using the mirror, with these settings, and see what we get. And there you can easily see the difference between those two. And it does give quite a nice effect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just grab a few more, and I'm going to move the mirror around to different positions until I get a nice image. There we are. So now with those images captured, what I can do is just go into Photoshop to do the bare minimum of post-production. Okay, so here we are in Photoshop, and I've loaded up the file of the image that I captured earlier. So the first thing to do, as usual, would just be to make a copy of this so I can edit the copy and leave the camera original alone. So what I'm going to do is just go onto the background layer here and right click the mouse, ask for a duplicate layer, but ask for a new document. And we'll just call this dandelion. So there we are. Photoshop has made me a new document, so I can now shut down the camera original. I've always got that one to go back to. Okay, so the first thing I want to do with this is just add an adjustment layer so I can change the levels. So I'll just select levels, so, and what I want to do is just lift up the levels slightly because I think it was slightly underexposed in the field. So we'll just do that, and maybe just bring up the midtones a bit, something like that. There we are. And now just to take the background back to where it was before, I'm just going to click on the mask up here and invert that. And now wherever I paint on this mask in white will bring that effect through. So I'll just make sure that white is selected as the foreground color. Find a paintbrush, just check the size and the hardness, and we'll just bring that through on the dandelion head itself. There we go. There. So this is with the effect and that's without it. Yeah, so that's worked quite well. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is just tidy up the image with a crop, I think. I'm using this for video, so I've got a specific ratio of 16:9. And I'm just going to concentrate that a bit more around the dandelion itself. There we are, something like that. And there we have it. So just by using a mirror to give me an extra stop of exposure on the subject, I've been able to really darken down the background. And that's helped bring more attention to the main subject. And I think overall, that's worked rather well. Okay, well I hope you liked watching how I made that image, and if you like watching these sort of things, do click on the other images as they appear, and don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and hit the like button. Thank you very much for watching.